So with January almost at an end, I think it was high time I spoke about what I'd like to read in Feb. What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. You're with Chris, and today I'll be sharing with you everything I would like to read next month. Now the books on this list, they may change at the drop of a hat because I may pick something else up entirely based on a whim, and that is the beauty of being a mood reader and not being constrained by TBRs that let's face it, I never stuck to them. And who doesn't like a bit of spontaneity, right? So let's get right into this list, and starting with the first book that I'm very keen to read, and that is The Glass Box by Michael Straczynski. This one came highly recommended from John over at Talking Story when he spoke about the book and reviewed it. It did pique my interest, and I thought I'd like to give that a go, and soon. So I've put it down for Feb as a potential read, and it looks really interesting. Apparently it takes place in a dystopian society where protesters get hauled away to a mental institution, and this young girl, Riley Diaz, gets placed in this facility, and because she is a rebel, you can imagine what would happen behind closed doors. So it looks like a really good book, and it looks very interesting. The plot is fascinating, and I can't wait to give that one a go. Next up, we have my next Star Wars Expanded Universe read, and that is Death Star by Michael Reeves and Steve Perry. This one has really drawn my interest, and I did 3 books last year under my new segment Reading the Star Wars Expanded Universe, and this one is the first of 2024 that I'll be doing, and there will be much more of these to come this year as part of the segment. But I've always been interested in how the Death Star came to be. I mean, I know the basics from the movies and things like that, but I think this book will go into a lot more detail about that, and can't wait to get stuck in, and yeah, we'll see how that goes. Next up, we have Mistborn number 2, The Well of Ascension. I am wanting to read this hopefully in Feb because I am, at the time of filming this, I'm almost finished The Final Empire. I've only got 100 pages to go, and I'm going to smash through that today, and enjoying the series so much that I thought I want to get to the second book ASAP. And it's a bit of a chunker. It's over 600 pages like the first book, but I'm enjoying the story, I'm enjoying the characters, and I want to pick up my socks and get stuck into the Cosmere so that I can be up to date completely before December 5th when book 5 of the Stormlight Archive is released, because as I've said in previous videos, I want to have a thorough enough knowledge of the Cosmere so that I'm up to date and finish Rhythm of War by about October or November, just in time for the new book's release, because I want to be part of that collective excitement among the fan base, and can't wait. So we'll see how that goes. All right. Now the next one is really interesting because this year I'm going to make it a point of spotlighting a few indie authors, because I've touched upon this briefly, but I don't think indie authors get enough kudos for what they do, and they seem to be overshadowed a little bit by the Kindle publishing platform, where there are authors, if you can call them authors, submitting works based on promptings by AI, which is a poisonous thing in my opinion. So they work hard, and they appreciate any thanks they get as well by supporting them and buying their books. Now this book is going to be awesome. It is called Smoker on the Porch. How good is that title? By Don Watson. It is a self-published title, of course, and this is his second book, and the premise just fascinated me. I'll just read it straight off the back cover for you. 1989, Suffolk, England. All the children saw it. Out there in the nighttime swirl of dreamy sleep, the house of sweet things, it promises full bellies forever. On the periphery of childhood to adolescence, Jake and his friends wonder where their lives are heading. An accidental encounter with Francis William Bigot propels them into a battle for their souls, not just their own, but for those of the whole world. Jake will face a choice and a journey like no other, but at Bigot's side, and have the power of a god or be a boy. It's fairly thick. The stock of this, I think it might be print on demand, don't quote me on that, but it only arrived this week, and the cover art alone, it looks absolutely sensational. The plot premise seems really fascinating, and it might have some Stranger Things vibes. Stranger Things vibes there as well, which I'm keen to get into. Now this one will be early in Feb because the pages are fairly short and the text is really large, and I'm thinking maybe 2 sittings and I will be done. And then after I read the book, I'm going to reach out to Don Watson and see if he would like to come on the channel for a chat, just to shed some spotlight on him and promote the book, because it is a really nice looking book, and the work that goes into that sort of cover art design is amazing. And as I said, indie authors work so hard and I think they need to be recognised. Okay, now the next one I have, now this is a bit up in the air. I'm going to look at doing a reading vlog of Blackwater by Michael McDowell. This is a series of 6 installments that was released in 1983, and there is a bind-up version of this book. Now I have it on digital because when I went to buy the hardback it was at $54, and then later that day I went to check and put it in my shopping cart and it went up to $75, which was a little bit steep for me, so I decided to get it on Kindle instead. So it's there. Whether I get to it in Feb, I don't know. I would like to. It just depends on how I'm going with what I end up reading, and I would like to do a 6-part vlog on that as well, much like I did with Way of Kings, because that format tends to work very, very well, and it hopefully will be a good one to do. But that will remain to be seen. We'll just have to find out. Alright, the next book I am semi-keen to read is called Crosshairs by James Patterson. That is going to be the latest Detective Michael Bennett series. If you've been watching my channel for a little while, you know I'm a little bit outspoken on how I feel about the series after the last book. I'm not going to dwell on it here, but I'm cautiously optimistic. I just hope that this book is better than the last one. And I have made a bold claim that if this book disappoints me, I'm done with the series. And that sounds pretty harsh, doesn't it? But I've said in a previous video that I don't have time for bullshit. I have too many books to read, and it needs to be a quality read. So I'm a bit on the fence, but either way, I'll be sharing what I think once I finish that book. Alright, and finally, the last book on this list is called The Long Way Home by Richard Chizmar, a collection of short stories. I have his first book, Along December, and his writing is phenomenal. Now, for those who don't know, Richard Chizmar is a long-time collaborator with Stephen King, and he is a brilliant writer in his own right, and this has quite a few stories in it that I'm really, really looking forward to, and this one will be read sooner rather than later as well. So there you go. So that is it for everything I want to read in Feb. Thank you so much for watching. If you like and subscribe, as always, I'll promise to deliver the best content I can, and feel free to leave comments below and I'll always respond to that. But until the next video, guys, happy reading.